I don't think I can imagine a world without music or visual arts or theatre. There's been so many moments in history where like music has been there when you needed it, or other art forms, but I think we definitely need it. Sometimes you just gotta hang on to something. My name is Héloïse Werner and I am a soprano and a composer. The sort of music I do, I would say that it tends to be quite theatrical. And so I think in the music that I write, I'm always trying to sort of find a way to that feeling of just expressing emotions quite directly and through my voice as a starting point. On my upcoming album, the sort of absurd, funny, comic, theatrical end of the spectrum, and also some tracks which are more simple and beautiful in a way. The title track, Close-Ups, is about 4 different characters that I try to make come alive through the music and my voice. There's a little poem that my sister Emma wrote, which is half in English, half in French, which says that you don't need a lot of words to make people come alive.
Il faut peu de mots, seuls des sons pour faire vivre des personnages.
I grew up in France. Until I was 18, I did everything in France. I was very much fully French and not at all British. My mum was a musician. My dad is a mathematician, but he loves music and he did violin, like amateur violin at quite a high level.
It is to be in.
Still, I'm actually quite French, but like when I'm here, I'm trying to be British.
Before became this performer, before became this Scaramouche Puccinella.
When you speak a second language that's not your native language, you're sort of acting in a way, like putting on this like extra layer of performance.
But when speak in the is unfamiliar. The is mba.
So I wrote quite a lot of stuff about it and exploring the relationship between performance and language and identity.
It is to be in when Scaramouche Puccinella through and
The sort of writing process is quite different from preparing for a gig where I'm a performer. The main thing always for me is like finding a sort of concept or an idea for the piece. But the sort of first idea sometimes takes me a little while, and I sometimes go for a walk and think about it, and like might have a little idea and like sing into my phone, a little motif or a little sound, and I'll just record it and then listen back later.
We both sat by the pool where I learned to swim.
There's a few pieces on my new album. The last track, the Lullaby for Sister, that's a very like personal thing. So my sister Emma wrote the text for that, and it's about childhood and memories kind of evaporating. The place that we used to go on holiday was owned by a friend of ours who died last year, and we basically wrote it for him to listen in hospital and stuff. We both sat by the pool where I learned to swim. But then there's other pieces that don't have that emotional connection. There's a piece called Les Leçons du Mardi, which is another collaboration with Emma, actually, commissioned by the Wigmore Hall for International Women's Day in 2023. The piece kind of explores how hysteria has been talked about for years in like scientific publications.
L'hystérie viscérale, Auguste Fabre, 1883.
It is quite funny sometimes because the quotes are so ridiculous.
As a general rule, all women are hysterical.
The womb is the origin of all diseases, all this kind of stuff that people have like actually said from 5th century BC to the present day.
And every woman carries within her the seeds of hysteria.
There is this idea that classical music is kind of for a certain type of people and kind of quite elitist. And that's problematic because then it kind of cuts you off and doesn't give you a chance to experience those things. I know that I couldn't really live without art around me. When I go and see a concert or play, or if I go to an art gallery, like, yeah, I get all kinds of different emotional responses to things, and sometimes it's really helpful, sometimes it's just like comforting, sometimes it's not, sometimes it makes you more depressed. But in a way, like it engages with whatever's going on. It just sometimes helps when like words can't necessarily help you. Emotional response to something is so depending on what's going on in your life, or maybe something you've experienced will really speak to you in a particular moment. It's not like a relaxing feeling, it's just more like a connection and sort of trying to understand or come to terms with an idea.
Quelle sorcière va se dresser sur le couchon blanc? Quelle sorcière va se dresser sur le couchon blanc? Quelle sorcière va dresser sur le couchon blanc?
What I hope that the audience gets when they listen to my music is for them to be moved in some way, or for it to have an impact, or induce a sort of reaction, emotional reaction. I can't claim that what I do is like saving the planet at all, but it feels like it's a contribution of some kind that hopefully will reach a few people that might make them feel a little bit better, or make them connect to something, or make them, relate in some ways.
Prends les dents, c'est cool, feu de cloche, lâche, le front les ondes de cloche, enfin, le pendant, c'est cool.